Bismillah, alhamdulillah. Okay, so we're going to be talking about detached pronouns. Detached pronouns. So what exactly is a pronoun? In Arabic, a pronoun follows under the definition of ism, which is anything that's not a harf or a fi'l. And that essentially includes person, place, thing, adjectives, adverbs, and pronouns. So a pronoun is essentially a replacement word for a noun. So rather than constantly saying that noun, you put a pronoun in its place in order to beat out repetition. So rather than saying Zayd went to the mall, Zayd stood up, Zayd ran, Zayd sat down, you say something such as he, right? That's when you're speaking in the third person. So there are three sections, I guess you could say, or three categories of pronouns. The first is third person, the second is second person, and the last one is first person. So third person is when you're speaking about somebody who's not in the room. And when it's referring to a male, it goes huwa for singular, meaning he, huma for two males that are not in the room, meaning both or they, and then hum, which is three or more males who are not in the room, right, when you're referring to them. And then for female, it's hiya, which means she, and then for two, it's huma, which means they, and then finally hunna. So it's referring to three or more females who are not currently in the room that you're talking about, right? So they went out to go eat, or they went to school, right? They're not in the room right now speaking to you directly. So second person is when you're actually speaking to someone directly in front of you, right? And this is usually where you use the pronoun you in Arabic. So for males, we have anta when you're referring to one, and that just means one male. So you're speaking to you. So you are Uzair, right? Anta Uzair. Uzair would be right in front of me, and I'm saying you are Uzair. Second would be when you're referring to two people, when it's a dual, would be Antuma, Tuma, right? And that would mean like you both. And then for three or more masculine who are right in front of you, speaking to them would be Antum. So you all, or all of you. Alright, and then for feminine, it would be Anti, Antuma, Antunna, following the exact same pattern, speaking to one person who's right in front of you, speaking to two people who are right in front of you, speaking to three people who are right in front of you, right? So you, they, directly in front of you. And then finally, the third and final category is first person. And that's when you say ana. So that's referring to yourself, I, and there's no gender assigned to it. So it's all just contextual. So you'd have to understand the context of the situation around you in order to figure it out. And then finally, there is nahnu, which is we, which is the same. There's no gender. It's all just contextual. So you'll know if you're speaking to a group of guys or if you're speaking to a group of girls. So the real question that comes out of this is, what happens when you have both guys and girls together? Well, in Arabic, automatically, if there's one masculine person, just one masculine person, that's all it takes, it defaults to being masculine for the entire group. Alright? And that's pretty much detached pronouns in a nutshell. Alright. Assalamu alaikum.
I just wanted to add in a quick caveat, actually. There was this really cool chart that I used to memorize these a while back. It was from the Medina books. If you actually look at the sequence of your fingers, what you can find is that the segments line up pretty well with the pronouns. So the first two fingers, or a way of looking at it, is that every other finger is masculine, and then the one in between are feminine. The first two fingers over here are dealing with third person, so referring to somebody who's not in the room, and we have huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, and then the last two fingers are dealing with people who are directly in front of you. So anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. It's pretty beautiful because you have singular across the top, you have dual in the middle, and then plural on the end. And third person, second person, masculine, masculine, feminine, feminine, and then finally singular on the thumb with the two segments. Personally, I like to start from the pinky, so huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, and go all along. So this is just some assistance to anyone who's having difficulty or wants to teach somebody else. It's a pretty useful tool. And the final thing that we need to remember is the non-intelligent exception. So when you're referring to something that's a ghayr aql, meaning that it's not a jinn, a human being, or an angel, and it's plural, you have to refer to it in the singular form. So we wouldn't use hunna to refer to a group of stars, rather we would use hiya, right? So it would still be translated as they are stars, rather than it is stars. So that's just a heads up. Okay? Alright. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.